majority of you might not be knowing if you are not associated with us from long time. So I'm Dr. Ankita. I'm a founder of Your Dental Tutor. Okay, we are a small group of people guiding since more than 5 to 6 years to all the ORE and LTS aspirants. Okay, and we continue guiding in our own ways. I will be discussing that too towards the end of the webinar, how we guide you, how we can help you, and how we can support you in your ORE and LDS journey. Okay, all right. Um, so many of you ask me, where do I belong to? Where do I reside? So I belong to, or I reside in Edinburgh, which is one of the beautiful cities of Scotland. So these pictures are from there itself, okay, and these are from autumn. So I feel it's a beautiful city, and I would definitely like all of you to join us in UK. All right. So, which countries form UK? England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So, if you get the registration from the GDC to practice as dentist in UK, you are allowed to practice in all these four countries. So, many of the people also get confused that are we allowed only to practice in England? No, you can practice in all these countries which comes under UK. Okay, which come under UK. All right. Today, what all things we are going to do? First, we will try to understand what is ORE LDS, because many of you, and earlier I also was having the confusion when I started my journey. I also get used to confuse what is ORE, what is LDS, what is the difference between the two, and which one to choose. This is the biggest question I get all the time, that which is the easier one, which is the difficult, and what to do, how what about the applications of both the exams. So we are going to discuss one by one about both the exams in detail, whatever information is required at the beginning for you guys. Process of exam, we'll also discuss that stepwise. Details about the exam, frequently encountered questions which usually many of you ask me either in the webinars or on the personal chats, on Instagram messaging, everywhere. What all questions I commonly encounter from the candidates during the when they begin their journey, that I'm going to discuss over here, and then followed by a question answer session. So if you have, after that also, if you feel that you have some kind of doubts regarding anything related to the part 1 exams of both ORE and LDS, I will be happy to share. In this webinar, one thing is more which is going to be discussed during the flow of the webinar itself, is that what are the latest updates which are coming up. There are so many fizzy fuzzy talks going on about ORE part 1. GDC has released some news, RC has done something about the LDS. So we are going to discuss that too. I'm going to give you the information that how far the information has been released by the authorities regarding both the exams. So everything I'm going to tell you over this webinar, over the next 1 hour period. Okay. First of all, what is ORE and LDS? Let's start from the scratch. So ORE means Overseas Registration Examination, and LDS means License of Dental Surgery. ORE is a licensing exam. It's not a degree. And LDS is a degree where in a convocation you are awarded degree of LDS by the Royal College of Surgeons, England. Okay. And ORE is just a licensing exam, and but the final destination is to become the dentist and get the registration number from the GDC. Okay, so both of these exams will get you over there, but only difference is it is license of dental surgery, that is LDS, is conducted by Royal College of Surgeons, and they give you a degree, they give you an award. But ORE, that's simple, performance number, score number, I mean the score card from the GDC, and you get the practice number. That's all. Okay. Now, process of ORE exams. First, we will talk about ORE exams, because so far the ORE exams are having the maximum seats and maximum frequency. We are going to talk about it. So most of the people know about ORE. So let's talk first about it. If you are opting for this pathway or any of the pathways, or especially ORE, then you will have to do your application prior you attempt to book the exams. Okay, why? Because their application process is needed, because after approval of your application, you will be added onto the list of booking candidates. Okay, so for that application, you will have to download it from GDC website, and they charge £96. The only catch is it is valid for 45 days. Okay, after 45 days, it tends to expire automatically. So you will have to arrange the documents in a way the GDC wants. Okay, it has to be strictly as per the guidelines or the instructions given by the GDC. Okay, and it has to be sent to the GDC before 45 days get over. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that it has to reach within 45 days. And they charge £96 earlier, like before 2024, they it was free of charge, the assessment was free of charge. But then GDC has started, after that GDC has started charging £96 for the same. Okay, we, your dental tutor members, I personally guide you for the application on one-on-one basis. Of course, that's our chargeable service. So if you are if your application is getting rejected when you are doing it on your own, if you don't have any guidance from outside sources, if you are stuck anywhere in relation to the application process, you can contact us, and we have, with some charges, we do help systematically, stepwise, in this process. After getting the registration, you will be informed by the GDC through your registered email ID about all the upcoming exams. So it's not that they just publish on their website, they personally mail every one of you, each one of you who are on their list about the upcoming exams. Okay. Start, yeah, of course, when your application gets approved, start preparing for the exams. Even if your application is not approved and you are getting onto it, start preparing at least. Why? Because if you book the exams, sorry, if your application gets approved on 20th December, and on 21st February, for example, the booking date is there, then also you are then you are also eligible to book the exam. So if you are, beforehand you are prepared, then you can at least try attempting booking the exams within 1 month of approval. So preparation of the exams and the application process can go side by side. Now here one question is mostly asked by many of the candidates, that how much time does DDC take to approve the application? So currently it is from anywhere between 10 to 30 days. Okay. In exceptional cases, it might take longer, but it is mostly between 10 to 30 days your application gets approved. So you don't have to worry about, just 1 month time you will have to give to GDC after the submission, and they are going to take the decision on that. Whether it's positive, negative, of course, that's up to them. But the decision is going to be in your hand within 1 month of time. Okay. Then once you are prepared enough, like 50-60%, you can start looking for booking of the exams. After passing part 1, you will have to appear for part 2, because in order to get full registration and to practice as dentist in UK, you have to clear both the parts of ORE. It's not with part 1 you can do nothing. You cannot touch the patient in UK. You will have to pass both the parts. Okay? Book the Again, the same process is there. You will have to book the slot for part 2 and appear for the exams. After clearing both the parts, you will get the registration with the GDC. You will be allotted a practice number, and you can start practicing as a dentist in UK. So that's how it's the simple process of URE exams. Now, if we dive into more details of the exam, then ORE is conducted on the computers. It's not paper-based exams. It's a computer-based exam. Okay, and it is, the two parts are there: part 1, part 2. Currently, in this year, in 2025, they have increased the frequency from twice to thrice. Okay, this is the first time they are going to take the exam third time within a year. All right. So part 1, around £550 are the charges for the part 1, and it's a theory based. You get two papers. Okay, part 1, two paper A, paper B. We are going to talk about it in further slides. and 200 questions in each papers are asked, and time is 3 hours. Okay, so time is 3 hours, 200 questions plus 200 questions on the second day, 200 questions on the first day, 200 questions on the second day, and the 3 hours timing. So that's how the part 1 is conducted. Paper A usually consists of basic subjects, okay, like your anatomy, physiology, microbiology, immunology, general surgery, general medicine, everything um, you know, everything which is not which is basic and which is not clinically oriented so much, that is asked in part 1. If we talk about part B, it is all related to the clinical subjects like prosthodontics, endodontics, oral pathology and medicine, radiology, oral radiology, endodontics, conservative, oral OMFS, everything. Everything, all the clinically oriented subjects are clinically oriented dental subjects, I would say rather, are considered in paper B. Okay, but still you cannot demarcate completely paper A, paper 1, paper B. There will be the subjects which will be clubbed together, okay, and will be asked in one of the papers. So these two papers are conducted consecutively in two adjacent days. Like for example, paper A basic on 21st of this time on 11th of January 2026. So paper B will be on the 12th of January 2026. So two consecutive days are allotted to the student, to the candidates for appearing in paper A and paper B. Okay. Next, we move on to the part two. It's completely practical based too. You will have to visit to London. For part one also, of course, in ORE. Part one also, you will have to visit to London on their center, and there you have to give the exam. For part two, again, you will have to visit the center, and there would be OSCEs, DTP, diagnosis and treatment planning, and medical emergency demonstrations, everything they evaluate, and the mannequin. These are the four modules which is considered in part two. Okay, so diagnosis and treatment planning, medical emergency, um, mannequin, and OSCEs. These are the four modules on the basis of which you are evaluated and um, scored. Okay, so part two is completely practical based. Once you complete both the parts, once you pass both the parts, you are allowed to have the registration number with GDC. Now, part one thrice a year, part two four times a year. So you have ample opportunities actually to uh, give the exams. In every 3 to 4 months, exams are there for both part one and part two now. Okay. Um, just a minute. Okay. Okay, so types of questions. I'll just take about the ORE. If I'm taking all the details about the ORE first. So types of questions, if we talk about, so there is MCQ. MCQ means where you will have to, you know, choose a single best answer from the options given. Okay, so there would be 4 to 5 options, and you will have to choose the best, correct, and the most correct answer from those options. Um, there could be some patterns, some different patterns of the questions which are actually asked in ORE. For example, image based questions. So you are given the image, and on the basis of that, the questions are asked. So I will be taking some sample questions in next few minutes. So you will get an idea that how the questions are asked in ORE. Okay. And image based questions, fact based questions means straightforward questions which are fact based. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you know, don't know. So not much logic, just the fact based. Numerical based, some questions in which you will have to do some calculations. For example, how much local anesthesia is required in this weight person. So in that case, you will have to calculate the dose of local anesthesia. Or fluoride calculations, that how much fluoride is present in this much grams of or this much grams of toothpaste, or so fluoride applications, fluoride gels. So how much fluoride is present in this much gel, this much amount of gel. So that's all the numerical based questions which could be asked. Nowadays, less questions are asked from the numerical based pattern, but of course there is always the probability to be asked, because in the past they have asked it. Statistic based questions, where you have to just mug up the statistics about few facts which are given in some standard books like Pink Book. Usually, we always say that Pink Book and Blue Book are the uh, main books which you have to follow for ORE exams. So some statistics based datas are given over there, and they can ask you about that too. So these are some of the patterns. One more pattern I would like to add over here, which towards which the ORE is diverting more, is that clinical scenario based questions. So nowadays they are more, diverting, they are more introducing the questions which are not direct but clinically based. That means they will give you a scenario, they will give you a clinical scenario in which they will give all the information, all the clinical information, clinical findings, and they will ask you the best possible, diagnosis or management or investigations, whatever they will ask you about that. So that's the last pattern which they could ask. There's another pattern, EMCQs. Okay, in the EMCQs they will take a theme. For example, cephalometrics from orthodontics, they have taken a theme, and they will ask 4 to 5 questions, set of question 4 to 5 set of questions from that, from the cephalometrics itself. Okay, so they, it's a match the column kind. Okay, so one column will have multiple questions, other column the answers will be there. Then you will have to match the correct question with the correct answer. Okay, these are mostly the fact based direct questions. EMCQs are never logical, I mean, so much concepts are not there, but direct questions are there. One such example is this. Okay, so they can actually take a theme and they can give you such kind of questions. Scoring of exam of ORE. So you need 50%. Okay, there is no percentile system, there is 50%. If you score 50% in paper A and if you score 50% in paper B, you will be given a pass. But if you score 75% in paper A and 49% in paper B, you won't be able to have that pass. Okay, so that means above 50%, it doesn't matter how much you score, but minimum 50% is needed to get a pass in both the papers separately, not combinedly. So paper A 50%, paper B 50%. No negative marking is there, so we always encourage our candidates to attempt all the questions. No ranking system is there, so you don't have to fight that kind of competition that 600 students are performing, so I have to perform the best to get selected. No, there's nothing like that. You just have to fight with yourself for that 50% score. Okay, so that's how it is. Now let's move on to the LDS. I have given sufficient information which is required for now about ORE. This is all, that's all about ORE. LDS, it is conducted by RCS England. It has three parts. ORE was having two. RCS has LDS has three parts. LDS 1, 2, 3. First part of LDS is of around 900 pounds, which is almost, I mean, not almost, but yeah, you can say almost double of that of ORE. Okay. It is also theory based. There will be two papers again, paper A, paper B. But here, paper A and paper B will not be conducted on 2 consecutive days. They will conduct it on the same day. Okay, so paper A will be in the morning and paper B will be in the evening time with a gap of like 2 hours. Yeah, minimum 2 hours they give you the gap between the two papers. So one whole day is given to part one, paper A and paper B. Okay, again, if you divide the subjects, paper A will be of the basic subjects. Law and ethics is the main thing which they emphasize mostly. Paper B, clinical subjects, okay, which will be conducted in the evening. Now, what LDS has done earlier, LDS also RCS also used to conduct two parts for LDS, but nowadays, I mean, like after COVID, I feel, yeah, after COVID only 2020, when they started conducting LDS again, they have splitted the LDS two, or the second part of ORE, what you can say, all the four modules of ORE again into two parts, and they have denoted LDS part 2 and LDS part 3. LDS part 2 is practical based, LDS part 3 is also practical based. So there are four basically modules, and these modules are divided into two parts. Now, LDS part 2 contains three modules, and LDS part 3 have only one module. LDS part 2, all unseen cases, OSCEs, and medical emergency OSCEs. These three are the part of LDS part 2. LDS part 3, only mannequin exercises are evaluated in that part. Okay, so part 1, part 2, part 3, that's how they conduct. 900 pounds for part 1, 1500 pounds for part 2, 1500 pounds again for part 3. Okay, so that's how LDS is. One benefit of LDS part 1 over ORE is that you don't have to visit UK for appearing. You can visit from your home. Okay, so LDS part 1 can be given from remote areas. That means from your home, from your office, at your comfort, you can give from anywhere. So for part 1, you don't have to visit. About the application process, LDS part 1 doesn't have any kind of application process which you have to do prior booking. Okay. Once you book the exam, you will have to send the documents to them, which are very minimal documents they have for LDS part 1. For LDS part 2 and part 3, you need language test, you need clinical references, character reference form, everything that which is there in for the ORE application. They do ask. LDS people also ask. RCS people also ask, but they ask you before LDS part 2. Okay. For LDS part 1, you don't need English evidence. Okay. You don't need any character reference form. You don't need clinical reference form. You just need um, passport and permanent degree to be sent to them. The certified copies of passport and permanent degree. Okay. So currently this is the norm, and then for part 2 and part 3, you need to do the application exactly as you do for ORE. Okay, and of course for part 2 and part 3, you will have to visit UK to appear in that. Okay. Now there are few differences basically which are there between part 1 and part 2, and sorry, ORE part 1 and LDS part 1, and it will summarize our details also. So ORE part 1, two papers are there. LDS part 1, sorry, I have written here two papers. No, no, sorry, we are talking just about part 1. Okay, so ORE part 1 has two papers, paper A and paper B. LDS part 1 also has two papers, but it is conducted on a single day, which has two papers, paper A and paper B. This year, ORE Part 1 has increased its frequency to three times, okay, and hopefully it will continue. And LDS Part 1, once a year it was their norm, but again this year, means on 3rd of November only, they have opened the seat. 3rd of November, like few days back, okay. Today's 9th November, 3rd of November, last week, they have randomly opened the seats for the first time, and now they have declared they are going to conduct it twice a year in 2026. One in February, and the other LDS part 1 will be conducted in August. Okay. So part 1, ORE, they used to conduct twice a year, but they have increased to thrice a year, and they have actually declared it very systematically. But RCS hasn't declared. They opened the gates, and then we came to know that okay, part 1 is also now going to be conducted two times in 2026. Okay, one in February, which the seats are full. People have already booked for February. Now they have removed the book now button from there. You will have to get ready for the August if you are going to apply for LDS. Then the next upcoming exam from LDS for LDS is in August. Okay, 2026. Um, then, of course, ORE, currently they have also increased the seats. So from 200 to 600. So now 600 slots per exams is declared by the GDC. And LDS, 120 seats used to be there. But this time, when they opened the seats on 3rd of November, nobody was knowing. But then they declared there are 500 seats. So LDS has also increased their seats from 120 to 500, which is massive. Okay, so massive increase, right? So now you have more opportunities of seats in both the exams. Okay. ORE 1, 4 attempts are allowed for each part. Okay, part 1 also you can give up to 4 attempts, and for part 2 also you will have to complete it, finish it within 4 attempts. LDS part 1, 3 attempts are allowed. Okay. Um, Slots in both the exams are provided on first come first serve basis. All right. ORE 1, computer based exams, but you will have to visit the country UK, England, and LDS part 1, remotely conducted. As I said, you can give it from the comfort of your home and office. Okay. So that was all about ORE part 1 and LDS part 1 exams. Now, actually, um, somebody has asked LDS passing criteria. Okay, so it's a percentile based system. Yeah, here the percentile is decided on the basis of the number of people, give the exams, but mostly on an average its passing percentage so far lie between 50 to 55%, or to be on more safe, or to be on safer side, I could say that 50 to 60%. So there is no clear cut percentage as that of ORE is for LDS. They decide on the basis of the performance, okay, of all the candidates. So it's a percentile system. Yeah. Now there is new update. We are getting on the GDC website. So this I have taken from GDC website only. So they have given a new contract like RCS. GDC has asked RCS to conduct the exams for them in the form of LDS. They have also given contract to UCL Consultants Limited. Okay, and they will also conduct both the parts of ORE, part 1 and part 2. And they and it is expected that the contract could increase the number of seats with more than double. That means now 600 seats are there per exam. We are expecting that it could be more than 1200 as per the statements given on the GDC website. We are expecting that it could be more than 1200 seats um, per exam from the from spring of 2026. That means May, June. Okay. So that's what GDC has declared. And further details are yet to be, declared by them. So we are waiting for that. But for now, we have got this much information from the GDC website, as well as they mail us also. And they have given the same information to us that the contract has been approved, the tender is given, and soon more number of seats are going to increase for ORE part 1. So that's a good news, because so many people are there. They have also told us that the number of applications has increased with the considerable amount, considerable number uh, in last 2 years. In 2024, by 45% the application number has increased, and in 2025, 50%, by 50% applications have been increased by the overseas dentists to appear in exam. And that's why they have made these alternative arrangements for the conduct of exams. Okay, so you guys will have lot many opportunities to appear in the exams. Okay. All right. So next we move on to the frequently encountered question. Now there are few questions coming up. Guys, please pour them in the chat box. I'll take it afterwards. Okay. So don't worry, because there are long questions. So that will take some time for me to read. So I'll take it at the end. Um, Please bear with me till I finish my webinar. Now, frequently encountered questions. What is the difficulty level of the exam? So I always get this question: what is the difficulty level? What is the difficulty level? Now it's very very generalized question, a vague question. Difficulty level could be, the level which I perceive as difficult might not be so difficult for the other person. So I cannot comment on that, but I can tell you how you can decide what's the difficulty level. That means the answer from my end is go with the feedback questions. Okay, what are the feedback files? Many of you ask that, where do we get the feedback files? Where, what are the feedback files, what are these, what does that mean? So feedback files are those files which are written by the exam, by the candidates who appear in the exams. Okay, they give you the question, they give you an idea that what topics are asked, so that you know you can know that what topics are important from which subject. So they make like these files, they circulate in the groups. If you are active in the WhatsApp groups, you are associated with the ORE Part 1 groups. We also have the group of Your Dental Tutor, which is free for everyone. We pass on all kind of updates and information over there. So people do, share, candidates do share, because GDC and RCS, they don't release any kind of sample papers. They have released few sample questions, like 10, 20 questions, but they were added on their website since like long before. Okay, and since then pattern keeps on changing. So best is to see the feedback files. Now we get the feedback question from our own candidates. Now we have got this kind of circle every year. Our candidates get booking, and they give us the question, we get an idea, we curate the question and put it in our question bank. So that's how it is helpful for the candidates which are enrolled on our courses. So that's how we give them the feedback questions and the topics we curate out from the questions which are asked in the exams. Okay, so that's how you learn. Few sample questions for your understanding, because you guys are attending our webinar, so I want you to give you more information. So these are the questions which have been asked, or not, I would not say asked, but similar kind of pattern has been followed in last 2025 exams. Okay, so some direct questions have been asked, like for example, structure passing through stylomastoid foramen, what are the one? This is some image based questions were asked. They were asked to, the candidates were asked to label the master of muscles of mastication on the images. They were asked to label the muscles of facial expression. They were asked to label the mark the foramina, or they were asked that tell us the choose the content of this foramina, and they have marked that foramina on the skull. So that's how you get the questions. Okay, completely doable. Okay, if you are thorough with the theory and the concepts, you will be able to do that. So the such kind of questions are expected in the exams. We talk about physiology, very much direct questions are asked on from the physiology. Okay, law and ethics, of course, this is something which is actually related to the BDA sheets, and is you will have to stick to your UK guidelines. Okay, this is not something which you learn in your home country during your graduation. So these, there are few things which are specific to UK, and you will have to do extra preparation apart from the regular routine BDS subjects. Okay, so those are BDS sheets, their guidelines, SDCP guidelines, trauma guidelines, FGDP guidelines. So there are various guidelines which are commonly practiced in UK dentistry, and then you will have to study them separately, apart from the routine dental subjects. Okay, orthodontics, IOTN, for example. So their IOTN is something which is practiced in UK frequent in on a regular basis. Okay, so these are the sample questions which I can give you, so that you can have an idea about how the questions are asked. Okay, so various syndromes are asked. Some patient-based questions are asked. For example, uh, example number two, if I take here, so a patient with Crohn's disease who had a complete ileectomy now has lip paresthesia, recurrent soreness of angles of mouth and tongue. Which one of the following factors is most likely to account for the patient's oral manifestations? So you will have to choose this. So like this, such kind of questions are expected in the exams. Clinical based, clinical scenario based questions, image based questions, fact based questions. Fact based means which is the nerve passing through this foramina. That's a fact, you can't change that. That's a fact based questions. Straightforward, direct question. Clinical scenario based questions, as for example I have shown you here. So like these questions are asked. Periodontics, again, BP, coding and all, these are asked frequently. Latest classification, periodontic classification is asked. So many more topics are asked, but these are just few of them. Like like 1%. Not, it's not a tip, it's not even the tip of iceberg I'm so showing to you. But yeah, such kind of questions you have to practice, which are asked in from, which are asked in ORE and LDS both. Okay. Preventive dentistry, periodontics, again, some kind of scenario will be given to you, and you will be asked what would be the best management at that particular point of time. Okay. Or at that visit. Prostho, some radio, yeah, radiographic images can be given to you, and you might be asked to label the anatomical landmarks. You might be asked to diagnose which pathology is present by seeing the radiograph. So you should be able to identify the radiographic abnormalities also, and the lesions which are present in the radiograph. So like this, the questions are asked. So I feel, what is the difficulty level of exam when this question is asked? My conclusion is that whatever the difficulty, but it is doable, 100% doable. You don't have to be extra intelligent, very smart, very only, and a very average student can pass the exams. Okay, it's just you will have to decide when to start. Don't start when you get the booking. That 8 weeks time is very overwhelming. At that time you should be doing the revisions, you should not start your preparation. That's my very very honest genuine advice. um, After guiding so many students so far in my 5 to 6 years of experience, I would say the people who have started after booking the exam, they have really faced so much stress and difficulties and sometimes failure. But those who were preparing at slow pace, I'm not saying you will have to give like uh, you know, blood, sweat, and tears since the beginning of the preparation. No, keep your preparation at a slow pace, and then when you get the booking, give your 100%. At least finish the course by once or twice before you book the exam, so that you know that you have that confidence and you know what you have to do in 8 weeks time. There are many students who claim basically that they have passed the exams just after getting the booking. They have prepared and they have scored 50%. Okay, good for them. Okay, but this rule cannot be applied for everyone. What if you get the booking, because you have to be, you know how difficult it is to get the booking. After getting the booking, you start your preparation, and you don't get what you want. Then it would be very very sad. Okay, because you will lose money, time, and opportunity, because that opportunity is very valuable, we all know, right? Booking the seat, getting the seat is very valuable, and money also. Okay, so start preparing. I feel that correct preparation is smart study. You don't have to mug up the books, the textbooks which you have gone through in your graduation days. No, you don't have to read in that depth. You just need to know what is asked, and 20% extra than that you have to read. That's it. You don't have to read everything, each and every topic, only which is asked. And what is asked, that you get from the feedback files. Practice question, this is very very important. Just doing the theory will not help. You will have to you will have to you have to practice. You will have to practice how to apply that theoretical knowledge on the question, on the scenario. Okay, so just don't feel like I have done pink book 3 to 4 times, now I'm okay. No, you are not okay. You will get confused when they will ask the question and give you four close options. Do the question, practice the questions. You can start your preparation in two ways. First, you can choose you can do the question bank, and you can solve the you can do the theory related to it, or you can first do the theory and do the questions. Both ways are fine, whatever suits you. But practice questions, don't skip that. There is no alternative for that. Now, second question I usually encounter is how to begin the preparation, or can I do the preparation with all the material which is present online on various platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook. There are so many files, okay, it's present over there. Are they sufficient? Or I should join any course, or I mean, how to do that? What to do? So there are two options. One, you join the course. Second, you don't join the course. Now, if you are not, many of us don't want to join the course due to any of the reasons. Okay. So, what you can do, if you are not willing to join the course, my guidance for you is that, my advice for you is that, collect the material whatever you are having. Okay. There are so much material available, like from 2013, 12, from there the feedback files till date from 2025, like you have got 10 to 12 years of feedback files. You will have to do some hard work for that. You will have to collect the material. You will have to, from the latest feedback files, you have to, you should have the books, MCQ books, MCQ question banks, required BDA sheets. Now there are thousands of BDA sheets. You can't read all of them, and all of them is not important from the examination point of view. So you should know which BDA sheets to be studied, which SDCP sheets, which FGDP guidelines. All these, collect the material, organize them, check subject wise. Okay. Build up the concepts and then do the questions. Okay. Go through the feedback files, go through the notes, go through the questions which are frequently asked, talk to the students if you are in contact with anyone who have passed the exam, so that they can give you an idea, and start reading and solving the questions. Make notes for yourself, repeated revisions, repeated question bank solving, all these, revise the question banks on the regular basis. This will help you. If you are not joining the course, this all kind of hard work you will have to do, and then of course you will be able to score good percentage. But the second option, you don't have to do anything. Sit back, follow the mentors, follow their guidance, do their question banks, because their question banks, like if I talk about me, my question bank is curated from all those feedback files, and whatever we feel that ORE can expect further, that we make a question bank, we make notes according to that, we give you markings of the main subject. So all those things. So course provider can just reduce your hard work of arranging the material and giving you proper guidance in on a track. So that will actually reduce your stress of uh, you know stress of doing so much research, and uh, you can have the all the material, all the properly formed material in your hand. All right. But of course, the studies, only you can do that. No course provider can guarantee your pass, because we can help you, we can support you, we can teach you, we can build up your concept, but ultimately studies have to be at your end. You will have to learn. All right. So nobody can assure. Those who say we guarantee 100% pass, no, nobody can guarantee, because it's a candidate who can guarantee 100% pass. He has to study. All right. Third question which I get is, what is the duration required to prepare for the exams? Again, it differs from person to person. Okay, it depends how well you have your concepts were there in your graduation time, so it would be easy for you to pick up. Okay. For example, those who have actually thoroughly done the anatomy, so they take very less time to do the anatomy again, because it's like a kind of revision for them. Those who have done MDS in periodontics, it's very easy for them to pick up the concept of perio, and they can do that subject anytime. Okay. So it depends at what level you are actually. If you are freshly graduate, you are very experienced person. If you are very experienced person, maybe your clinical subjects might be very strong, but then you will have to work hard on your basic subjects. So it differs. Okay. So still, I suggest that if you give um, 6 to 7 months time, um, it's sufficient to prepare for the exam. Okay. Since how many years you haven't touched the books, that's also one thing, because I have some candidates who are like very very senior, even senior to me, like they have passed their graduation in 2004 5. So they have not been reading so oftenly. Okay. So when you prepare for the exam, you have to be focused. Okay. You have to mug up the concepts, you have to mug up the facts. All right. So it takes time again to for the mind to wire those concepts. So that takes time again. So it's you who have to decide who is the best one to decide what is the best duration for you to start with the preparation and book the exams. Okay, so question fourth, which is easy or tough among ORE and LDS? I would say again, there is nothing easy or difficult. Getting the seat is easy or difficult. Okay, getting the seat is more important. So if you are opting, if you are preparing for just LDS, if you are preparing for just ORE, don't do that, because the core preparation, like 80-90% course is same for ORE and LDS. Okay, so prepare, and then wherever you get the seat, grab it and just give the exam. Okay, the 10% difference can be covered in that time after the booking, that can be covered, but 90% course is same for both the exams. Okay, other thing is that number of parts. Of course, ORE has 2 parts, LDS has 3 parts. So LDS is going to take longer route, but then LDS has split the modules into 2 parts, which again ensure success. Okay, first attempt success more than that of ORE. Okay, because in ORE you have to concentrate on all the 4 modules, so that's how it is. But I would say wherever you get the seat, just go with that exam rather than focusing on any one of them. Uh, Another question, do you help with booking of exam? No, I don't. I don't advise also. Please try your luck by yourself. Don't give it to someone. First of all, that's why I say no. And second, it's illegal also. We don't want to get, into any kind of trouble. Okay. So it's you who should log in your account from one device and try to book the exam. Okay. So don't give your luck in anyone's hand. Try yourself. Total expenses for the exams. So with the ORE, you will have to visit the country. If you are already in the country, it doesn't matter whether ORE or LDS, the expenses are going to be just the exam fees. Of course, your other fees, course fees and all is different. I'm just talking about if you are talking about the exams. Then if you're UK resident, you will have to give the exam fees, travel to London and accommodation. Non-UK resident have to give exam fees. They have to arrange for the visa. They have to spend for the tickets for traveling to the London and the accommodation. So it's become very hefty for the non-UK resident. But then that we don't have any option. We have the option with the LDS. For LDS part 1, you can stay at home and give your exams comfortably. But for ORE, you will have to visit. Okay, so this would be the structure. Cannot comment on total expenses as such, because again it differs. Accommodation expenses differ, traveling to London tickets differ all the time for every person from different countries. So um, you will have to calculate as per your situation. Now, yeah, what to let's talk like very brief about our courses, and then I'll come on to the questions answer session. So, what we do, how our courses are there, we offer 2 kind of bundles. Okay, one bundle contains everything. Bundle one, I've put it very simplified in a very simplified way. I don't have very fancy, offers for you. Bundle one, everything, all the classes, all the markings of the subjects, all the discussions of the topic, discussion classes, notes, question bank. Question banks are there in the online format as you get in the ORE and LDS exams, as well as in the PDF files format. All the required guidelines, sheets, everything, doubt clearing sessions, WhatsApp group with the fellow candidates. Everything is there in the bundle one. In the bundle two, just study material and the live sessions, discussion classes are not there, but you are provided with the question bank. So the major attracting feature of the bundle 2 is that those who want to study on their own with their own textbook, but they want something to solve, they want to know how much they have, they want to self evaluate that how their preparation is going, then they need to solve the questions. So question banks are included in the bundle 2. Question bank and the mock exams are there for the bundle 2. Apart from that, of course, doubt clearing sessions, if you need more guidelines, more media sheets, everything that can be provided to you in bundle 2. Doubt clearing sessions are there. WhatsApp group, you will be there in the WhatsApp group too. So that's how it is bundle 1 and bundle 2. Okay. Of course, we actually take batches in a very limited strength so that we can concentrate personally on every student. And after booking, I take weekly revision MCQ sessions. Today also I have the MCQ sessions post webinar. So those is candidates who get the booking in their in order to monitor their preparation. I take weekly MCQ sessions according to the planner which I make for them. So this and personal monitoring and of course moral support, which is very much required when you are in the competition, not competition, but when you are in that phase of giving the exams. Okay, so that's what is provided at our end, and this is only I feel is our strength that we can give our personal touch to each candidate. Okay, all right. Conclusion of my webinar regarding part one exam is that key to success is just smart study and revisions. Don't waste your time doing all the topics of BDS because BDS is like 4 5 years we have given. We cannot do everything in the 5 months, 6 months time. Plus, ORE is not the exam which required this much effort. Okay, where you are doing Karanza for doing the perio, where you are learning um, some prosto textbook, big textbook, radio for radiology, you are going to Eric and Waits. No, you don't have to do that. So smart study, selected topics, thorough build concepts around that, and repeated revisions. Very important to clear all your concepts. So revisions are very important. Upcoming exams, these are the upcoming exams. ORE Part 1 January already booked. The ones which are highlighted in red are not available for booking, okay, but they are going to be there. So ORE Part 1 January booked, not for the ones who are attending this webinar, obviously. LDS Part 1 February 2026, that's also booked. ORE Part 1 April 2026, details are yet to be declared by the GDC. LDS Part 1 August 2026, yet to be declared. Plus the exams which are going to be conducted with the help of a new bidder, that is UCL, uh, that is yet to be declared. So let's see, there is a lot going to happen in terms of exams, of part one exams in the coming year. So we hope for the best, and it's already clear that it is in the favor of the candidates that they are going to make arrangements for increasing the seats. Okay. Our services, we provide application guidance of ORE 1 to 1, okay, preparatory courses for ORE 1, LDS 1, and MFTS 1. So today I haven't talked about MFTS anything, but we do the preparation courses for that too. And IELTS, of course, IELTS is mandatory for the people who doesn't fit in the exempt criteria, and that is required as a prerequisite in ORE application. So for that also, we have our online certified mentor. Okay, she is specialized in IELTS basically, and she guides you for scoring the desired band required for the ORE application. Okay, so that's the services from our side and support we provide. There are just few three feedbacks I have put over here for our courses and for the application guidance. More feedbacks if you want to, more reviews if you want to know about it, just Google your dental tutor reviews. You will get many reviews about us. Okay, so you can go on to there. Here I have just provided this much. Okay, now I'll come on to the question answer. Okay, the questions which I am seeing here on the chat box. um, the names are not visible, so I won't be able to address your names